Welcome to the Church Sound Podcast, part of the Repurpose Network, where kingdom culture, real life, and technology intersect. I'm your host, Prentiss Thompson, and what we do, we talk to real people, pastors, leaders, engineers, tech people, manufacturers, worship leaders, all about church, technology, and provide solutions for a successful Sunday morning service. You ready? It's time to take a ride. Let's go. Yes, welcome to another edition of the Church Sound. You know, you guys always clap so hard for me. I really appreciate, your love and support, and always there for me, out in the weeds somewhere, just clapping along. Hey, listen, welcome to another edition of the Church Sound Podcast. Listen, I know you've been listening to the podcast because I've been at the Wave event, recorded a bunch of podcasts at the Wave event. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys know all about it. And today we have a different approach. So go with me down the rabbit hole, if you will. Okay, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get closer to the campfire. Come close, and let's listen to what I have to say. This started something that you normally have. Like, I'm pretty sure during the course of the day, you went looking for this device, this thing we're talking about. And I'm pretty sure during the course of the day, you may have left it somewhere. And I'm pretty sure that you cannot be apart from this thing we're talking about. And it's a smart device, the final frontier. Did you know in 2007, the first generation of the iPhone hit the market? It had a 3.5 screen, it had a multi-touch display, it had a microphone, it had a headset. These are things that you just normally take for granted right now, especially your kids. Your kids have no idea of what we went through with flip phones and things of that nature. It's also the story of the internet. It's about faster speeds and higher demand for connectivity. It's also the story about bandwidth. Do you remember 3G? Do you remember the bandwidth? It determines how much traffic a cellular network can handle before the network begins to slow down. The key word is slow down. How about 4G? Remember when 4G Lite? Remember that? Ooh, we were really cooking with grease. Now we have 5G, and now 100 years from now it'll be the 100G. Who knows? But right now, I'm going to talk to a gentleman who can now bring the distraction of your device into your event. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs of all ages, let's welcome to the program Kyle Campbell from Q Audio.
Thanks for having me, Prentiss. Hearing that intro, I guess I'm one of the quote unquote tech people. So I guess that's the bucket that I fall into with this, huh? Thanks for having me, man.
I'm so excited to have you on. First of all, I know that was a long intro, but I had to paint the picture. They don't call me Picasso for nothing. Mm-mm. I had to paint the picture. Now, the crazy thing is that when I met you guys, you gave me, you guys, before we, okay, those of you who are listening, I'm going to tell you this. There are going to be segments in the show you're going to want to see. So in the link, go to the YouTube page and view the episode. There are going to be things that you're going to want to see. We're going to indicate, oh, look at the screen. You're not going to be able to see it because you're listening. So go to the YouTube, watch it there, and you trust me, you'll thank me. So
we do a lot through sound, but all of our stuff is visually more appealing than audibly appealing.
Correct. So when I met you, I ran up on you, and ironically, you guys were across from B&H, and I was talking to, and I used to work there. So I was talking to him as one of my coworkers, and I said, "What is this?" And you guys gave me this amazing demo. And I immediately said, I need to have you on the show.
You were one of the first people that came up to us during that. And you were like, it was awesome. You came right up and, what is this? What am I looking at? And I have a podcast, and you guys need to come onto this podcast because my listeners need to absolutely see what you guys are doing here.
Yes. And it's funny that the first question I have for you is, what was the thought process or the genesis of Q Audio? Like, What?
Yeah. So Q Audio started in about 2016 or 17. So we're still a relatively new company, but we've grown pretty exponentially, honestly. Used to be about 4 or 5 people that worked for the company. And we started in the sports realm where we actually do cell phone light shows. And that's still one of our bread and butter, our razzle dazzle products that we have that we'll show in a minute. But it's all triggered through sound. And so our co-founder was at an event and he said, wait, people have their flashlights out. What if I can do something with those flashlights and actually control their devices? So our co-founder, Jameson Rader, is an unbelievably brilliant mind. And he developed a proprietary software to be able to do just that. And now we are able to essentially use our software to send audio QR codes to people's cell phones to deliver a package of data and take over their flashlights, their on-screen content, and do some other fun activations there. So we really are just knowing, like you said, people have their cell phones. People use them. People are going to use them, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Well, we are here to make you like it, that they use it. And so we want to take advantage and unify people and bring groups of people together like never before through their device. It's all about using that device and saying, hey, you're going to be on it, so let's do some fun stuff with it.
Right. The crazy thing is that I was like the other day, I was watching YouTube. I was watching some concert footage on YouTube, and I left it. You know how sometimes it'll go to the next thing after it's over.
Yeah.
So the music came on, and I said, I know I love that song, but it was another version that I'd never heard before. I was like, what version is this? I look at the screen, and it's a live concert. So I'm looking, and I said, something's weird. No one has a cell phone. It was like before people were like, well, everywhere.
It's funny and great timing with this recording. LeBron just broke the scoring record, right?
Right.
Huge news. And everywhere I'm seeing on LinkedIn, especially, of people posting the side by side of his record breaking shot and Michael Jordan's game winning shot in the finals against the Utah Jazz. And it's so funny because the difference is with LeBron, every single person has their phone up.
Right.
MJ, the only person who doesn't have their phone up with LeBron is Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, right? And that's been the cool thing is he's sitting courtside next to LeBron's kids and he doesn't have his phone. He's taking in the moment, just using his eyes. Every other person, though, in that LeBron photo has their phone up. Nobody had cell phones, though, in the Michael Jordan photo. Right. And so it's cool to see the comparison of just generations. And it's tough because, unfortunately, a lot of times now all people want to do is just photos, videos, wherever they are, whatever they're doing, and not always take in the moment. Right. Luckily with us, we can do both of those things with our platform though too.
So if give me an example of how you guys would use it as a light show, because that seems to be if that was your signature, I'm pretty sure that was the genesis that sparked the other idea.
Yeah. So perfect example, and it's a personal example. So I live down in New Orleans. I used to oversee all the game entertainment and game experience with the Saints and Pelicans for the last 7 years. So I was a former user of our product. So in the Superdome, where there's 73,000 people at Saints games, we go lights out for player introductions. And it's basically, I always saw it as like a blank canvas where we're the only stadium in the entire NFL that no matter the time of the day, the season, anything like that, we'd always have the same environment in there. And so I actually saw the Q light shows during a North Carolina basketball game. I remember watching on TV and I said, what is that? I need to figure that out. So ultimately we signed on as a partner with the Saints, and during our player introductions for Saints games, we were lights out, like I said. And then when we roll our intro video to the bowl, our inaudible triggers are embedded on that video, and when that video is tracked hot to the house, that the phones are listening for those triggers, and the phones take off and we do the light show just like that.
That's retarded. That is retarded. And the thing is, the funny thing is, so I downloaded the app. So I downloaded the app and I went to the website. And I'm like, go down, immersive. Okay, and I click the button, and all of a sudden, it was. I think it was the Texans.
Huge.
Thing.
We did a huge light show with the Texans a few years back.
So I looked, and I was like, I called my wife. I was like, look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it has the Holy Ghost. Look.
It's
just blinking like crazy. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So then I start thinking about, okay, how could a church utilize this, especially like, a modern church, especially youth events, vacation Bible school, things of that nature.
Yes.
How could a church utilize that?
Yeah. So we've seen a lot, obviously around holidays is always a big thing. Christmas, we had a big push this past year with Christmas where people wanting to do it for Silent Night, for example, though. Everyone's going to have Silent Night as part of their service, basically. And people say, okay, we're not handing out candles anymore. COVID was kind of part of that, right? And so instead of handing out candles and save a few dollars potentially on that, we can take over your phones and we could do a GIF on screen of a candle flickering, and then we can make the flashlight pulse to be able to look like a candle or like a paparazzi type feel with our sparkle feature. So that's been a big thing. Or we just did an event in Shreveport, Louisiana down here with a youth event. And you mentioned the youth events. Those are huge because like we said to start, people are going to have their phones out. People are going to be doing stuff, whether you like it or not. So let's lean into it. And so the youth events to Easter ceremonies to just some churches are doing it every single Sunday or 2 or 3 times a week and just want to get their people involved. And a big thing that you want to think about too is that we can control the phone screen so you can put whatever information you want to on there. So think about it from a messaging standpoint. If there's any verses you want to put on there, if there's any messaging, if you want to tell people to stand up and scream, if you want to tell people to make sure you don't forget your purse when you leave, you can put whatever you want right on the cell phone screen. And so It's a way to be able to really just capture people's attention from the flash perspective, but also the messaging tool on the on screen. So with a lot of our sports teams, though, they'll use that for a branding opportunity with sponsorships and team logos and player images and all that kind of stuff. We put all that right there on that screen.
So that being said, why don't you show us a few tricks up your sleeve?
Let's do it. Sir. So let me pull up my I'm just going to play it. I'm going to have to unplug my headphones for this. Just so the sound comes out of my computer. So what I'm going to do is get my apps open. And so I'll walk you guys kind of through the process just so you can see, but we're going to use our Q Live app. And so it's going to open up for me on our waiting to sync page. But for the first time that anybody ever does it, it will ask them for their microphone and camera permissions. Reason being is the microphone I mentioned, we have the inaudible embedded triggers in our music. And so those are at 17 to 19.5 kilohertz. And so with our software, the phones are programmed. Say that one more time.
Can't hear it.
Yeah. So the phones are programmed to hear just that. And so they're sitting there waiting to hear that. And then what's also cool is we see the little camera down there, and I mentioned the camera permissions. You also can capture video and photos while doing this as well, and they'll save your camera roll or your photos there. So it's a really cool thing that we want to make sure that we're not losing people just to take photos, so they can actually take photos and videos all participating. So without further ado, I'm going to fire this off here. You may or may not hear the music on your end, but we'll see how we'll do this up. So I'll share on-screen content here.
Okay. Wow. Wow. The thing is like with thousands of people holding that up, it's succinct.
I know that I need you.
Show you a little more, just so let it go for a couple other seconds.
Wow.
So that's an example of one of our light shows.
Wow. which is when I think about the possibilities and the kind of excitement, I'm pretty sure that will cause in a sports stadium. When you have in a service, obviously it's more in tune to your spirituality, your religion, and things of that nature. It just brings a device into best way to say it brings a device to life inside your service, which causes more engagement. So what are the other ways, if you could share on your screen, what are the other ways that you can use this software?
Yeah, so we also have, I'm going to share here our platform. Let me just get my phone's still sitting in the light show. I don't need that running while I'm doing this. So we also have our platform called Fancy. Now, this is a newer thing that we have that I personally love. And I think it's really going to be a huge, huge part of what we're doing moving forward. So, Prentiss, you can do this as well if you want. If you want to scan that QR code.
Okay.
And so when you scan that QR code, it opens up it just opens up a link, and then it asks on your for your camera permissions.
All right, let me scan it.
And QR codes, let's be honest, were revitalized due to COVID, right? So it pops up here. Would you like to grant access to your phone, to your camera? And you hit allow. And then we are live stream. Signal's not great. Let me use it. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Here you are. And you are live streamed right onto the video boards or the live stream of the service, right? Just like that.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
So imagine a person's in their service and you just want to put them on the screen. You could.
And then you could say, hey, let's go to Kyle. And here's Kyle. And then we can go, hey, let's go back to Prentiss. And we can go back to Prentiss, just like that.
Wow.
And what's really cool too is we can do multiple people up there at once as well. And so we can put the two of us up there. And so we can do a high five. You could do some fun stuff like that to be able to kind of really get people engaged. The Wave Conference, we really heard people, we talked about, hey, we can give this to our pastor and let our pastor just walk around with his lapel mic or his lav mic on. And then he could just be streaming, hey, look who I'm here with, so-and-so. And you could be walking around just kind of showing it up on the boards. That way you're not having to track with another camera, or maybe you just don't have as much of as big of a setup necessarily as some of the bigger churches, right? This is legitimately just a web browser that is this output that you're seeing as part of the podcast here. It's just a web browser that is compatible within ProPresenter, and so you're able to just put this output. Yeah, we talked to somebody at the Wave Conference that they do support URL integrations into ProPresenter is what we were told there, and so you could take this and literally walk around with it. And here's something to think about. Prentiss, you are located where?
In Columbia, South Carolina.
And I am in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are streamed in together on this. I say that because we can then bring people in from outside of the service into the service. Right?
Wow.
And so if there's people on a mission that you want to be able to bring in, if there's people that are sick that just can't make it, you could bring them in from home by texting them the link to this, or putting it in an email. Hey, join us on our service at 10:15. We're going to be going live with our entire congregation. We want to see where you're joining from.
That opens so many
Right?
many possibilities.
Right?
Because I'm thinking, like, sometimes, a lot of the younger pastors, what they do is, let me get off of this, because this is like, I'm going nuts.
You getting freaked out a little bit?
I'm getting freaked out.
I'll stop sharing.
Right. So, because I'm thinking, like, a lot of times, a lot of the younger pastors, or I'd say modern pastors, they want to have an intro. They can have their phone and be headed to the stage.
1,000%.
And it's with no camera crew, just your device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, think about, I'm a big wrestling fan. You can see part of my WWE belt over here, right? I'm about the theatrics, and I love just the storytelling of WWE. And I joke with a lot of the sports teams we talk to. I'm like, you could do the Bill Goldberg bang on the door, and out walks Goldberg with his security guards, and just follow them with their cell phone. And you can do the access. You never have to worry now about, the cable's not long enough to reach that, or
right.
we don't have access because the signal strength's not strong enough there, because with a wireless camera or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's just your cell phone. It can go on Wi-Fi, it can go on LTE. We are able to also see the cell phone strength, the signal strength in our platform. And then you could sort by those as well to make sure you're only putting up the best signals that you actually are receiving in. So it would be either a green, a yellow, or a red. And then you're able to say, okay, well, I only want to put up the greens. So when I operate it, I sit in the green. I only want to see those best signals. We also have a cool feature where you can do a VIP feature, where you can, what you and I scanned was our general public QR code, but we have a VIP QR code and link that if you want to give it to the pastor, if you want to give it to anybody you basically want to guarantee to be part of the streaming process here, they can use that. They get tagged in our system, and then you could sort by just those VIPs. So if you want to just do a situation where you're just putting VIP people up, you can easily do that. If there's 10, 12, 200 VIPs, you can put them all up just through that.
Okay, so let's go hypothetical.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be the guinea pig.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have a podcast. How could I use this product?
If you have a live time that people actually,
and I'm about to start doing live events,
you can have people stream in. You can distribute this through your socials, through email, whatever. You can get them the link, and you can say, hey, we want to see where you're tuning in from. We want to see you all over the world. And you just share your screen, and you're on our platform. People start streaming in once they see the QR code and they're told to do it. And then it's out there, and then they're coming in live with this. It's just a live stream.
Amazing. So the platform, on the platform, basically you see all of the attendees, if you will.
Yep. Yeah.
And you
I could show you what it looks like on the back end.
Okay.
Let me scan back in here for myself. Let me start it up. And so so it's just me in there now. But so you can see, this is all the phones will populate. And so this would end up pagifying the phones, and all you do to put somebody live is click live. It's that simple. And so you're literally, and then you want to go to the next person, you click the next person. And so it's literally just that. And so, like I mentioned, here's that signal strength indicator. Here's the normal QR code. Here's the VIP QR code. All that's right here. This is where you can sort only good signal strength. Here you are. We put you live, and you're live again. Go back. It's just like that.
Wow.
So it's all web based, which is great.
So you have to be on a desktop or a laptop?
Could be a laptop. I'm on a laptop. I'm on my Mac laptop. It could be Mac. It could be laptop. Like, it's just browser. So you just need to have a browser, and we'd recommend a hardline Ethernet connection to be able to make sure you're getting the strongest signal going out with everything.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
It's literally So to your point, like if you had yourself, or if you had your wife, that you want to sit there and moderate it, you could have everybody scan in, and then you could say, hey, it's time everybody to get you to see everybody and really get going. And we want to see where y'all are coming in from. So,
you know, what's crazy is I have like this, I'm thinking about now I'm really thinking. So we have a family reunion coming up this summer.
Yeah.
And
it's not going to be small, is it?
It's not going to be small. It's not going to be small. I have a huge family. And a lot of the elders, you know, they won't be able to come. So this may be a good way for us to see them at the same time. So something to think about.
That's a fun idea. I never thought about that. Family reunions. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, based on, you know, like a lot of our elders, you know, we've lost maybe about 5 in the last 2 months. So, it's really important for us to be able to see them and people be able to see them. So something to think about for family reunions. But this is so immersive. It brings people in. Talk about the campaign thing. I saw something on the website about campaigning and 50 for 50.
We have a whole fundraising arm as well.
Having over 100,000 people here made paper tickets very difficult to work with. So being able to use the Q5050 tablets and printing the tickets was super simple. We can give away 15,000, 20,000, just depends on how big the pot grows. And so fans are super excited to not only have a chance to win a lot of money, but also to give back to Speedway Children's Charities and the organizations that we support year-round.
We got a gentleman on staff named Garrett. He leads our fundraising arm. So we do online 50-50 raffles. We also have a cool new thing called Pledge Per platform, where we're actually going with a lot of our college partners to be able to say, hey, you want to have a donation component where you pledge $1 for every home run hit by the Tulane baseball team. You can do that now through our stuff.
Wow.
And so it's a cool way just to get a donation based off of performance on the field, court, or anywhere, right? And so you can kind of do the Pledge Per based on anything. And so you can that really is, it can be attached to any action if you really think about it. It could be Pledge Per the amount of cars parked in the parking lot. You can do really, it could be whatever you want it to be in that sense.
Be very creative in this, you know. That's amazing because you're thinking about paying it forward.
Yeah.
At your event.
Yeah.
Which then causes more engagement with your device and the event. That's amazing. There's so many ways so many avenues you can go down, because I think the key word is immersive.
Yes.
The key word is immersive, and being that everyone walks in with a computer in their back pocket. Like,
absolutely.
Some people just like, I can't leave without. People lose their minds if they leave home like, oh my God, I left my cell phone.
Yes.
What did I do?
Yep.
I think about when I was a kid. I'm like, and but now it's like, no,
I'll tell you, my greatest fear in life, this is going to sound terrible, but is my phone battery dying and being without my phone battery. I've got like 3 or 4 external bricks that I bring with me at places. If I'm at a sporting event, we've got Mardi Gras starting here this weekend. I'm thinking about what bricks I'm going to pack, how I'm going to bring them. Like it's just a thing that I know it's terrible, but like,
wow, it's how we function now.
Yeah.
It's how we function. It's like, shoot, man, I've never been to Mardi Gras. That's something I definitely wanted to do.
It's not a bad time. I promise you that.
Yeah. Especially now. It's like, you know, it should be just about normal right about now.
Yeah. Last year was pretty reckless because we missed a year. And so people really got after it.
Really like, woo, it's free. We're free.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mardi Gras is a good time. I'm riding in a parade as well. My wife's riding with me, and then you ever wanted to feel like a rock star but not be a rock star? Ride in a Mardi Gras parade.
Really?
Oh, you will. This is going to sound terrible, but you'll never have more power. People will do absolutely anything for these cheap, chintzy plastic beads. And I mean, just like they go crazy. And also, it makes me realize there's kind of two types of people. I don't want this to come off the wrong way. There's people that are unbelievably appreciative for anything, right? And they will, you see that you can make somebody's day by giving them just beads or a stuffed animal or something like that. And there's people that are not going to be appreciative, and they're going to say, that's all you're going to give me? And for that, I want to be like, yeah, give me that back, actually. Because it is so interesting, the different types of people that you see when you ride with that. But when you can genuinely, I tell my wife this, like a dream of mine is to be able to be on a stage like a musician, just like point out in the crowd and just be like, and feel like people feel like they're getting pointed at by this rock star, right? You see it at every concert. But I do that like when I'm on Mardi Gras floats. Like I just point. I'm like, you. And when you make eye contact with somebody and you've got a football or something really cool, like it is so awesome to just be like,
wow.
You feel like you made somebody's day. Like when they tip their hat or they give you a fist pump, or just like seeing kids hug their parents. Like it's a very rewarding experience and it's much more than people think it is. So I digress. We're talking about Mardi Gras now. I'm getting a little too excited. Parades start tomorrow. I don't need to get too into it yet.
Oh gosh. Hey, well, listen, man, I really, really appreciate your time, man. I learned so much. I'm pretty sure my listeners have learned so much.
Yeah.
What is the website for you?
QAudio.com. CUE audio.com.
So I want you guys to go to the website. It's going to be a link in the show notes. Just click over there. Like I said, if you were listening to the podcast and you happen to be in the car and go like, I don't know what they're talking about, go right to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And just watch it there. It's amazing. Like, and on top of that, I look amazing. And I have listen, it works. It works. It really works. Before we get out of here, we have a game we play.
Oh.
It's called 30 Seconds and Gone. Yes, 30 seconds and gone. True, false, yes, no. 5 questions. So, are you ready?
I gotta be.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Okay. The meal you most hated as a kid?
Broccoli. Anything with broccoli.
Anything with broccoli. New Balance, Adidas, or Nike?
Nike.
Drama, comedy, or
comedy?
Action? Okay, what is the Super Bowl pick?
Eagles by 6.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs of all ages. I want to thank my good friend Kyle from Q Audio. Hey, listen, I had a great time. I know you had a great time. Like, subscribe, review, and see you next time. We say it like we always say, keep God first in everything you do. See you next time on the Church Sound Podcast.